Today's Dallas Cowboys report is sponsored by Mint Mobile. They are changing the game in cell phone plan coverage with plans starting as low as $15 a month. And it runs the largest 5G network, so you're not sacrificing coverage, speed, or data. Make the switch today like I did over at mintmobile.com/chatsports. That link is in the comments section and the description of today's show. Today's video is a look at some Cowboys training camp takeaways, early edition. We've only got 2 days of practice so far, third one coming up on Friday. So it's early, but some notes I want to get into. First up is the left guard battle. Connor McGovern versus Tyler Smith. Obviously, everyone cares about Tyler Smith, the first-round pick. Is he the starter? Well, much like minicamp OTAs, McGovern got reps with the ones to start. And then Smith got some reps with the ones. And oh, by the way, Tyler Smith is looking a little thin. Slim Smith. There we go. We can call him that. Slim Tyler. Slim Shady somehow mixed in there. He does look thinner than what we saw at minicamp and at OTAs. I don't think too thin. I mean, even for a guy as big as like Tyron, he's always looked a little bit thin. I would say keep an eye on how the strength looks. So that was a positive part of his game. But Smith spent June and July working with Duke Manyweather, maybe the preeminent offensive line coach in the offseason. That's a really good sign as far as I'm concerned. And that's exactly what I want my linemen doing. Working with Duke Manyweather. He's very good at what he does. So promising early thoughts and sounds and reports out of Tyler Smith. I think by the time it gets to week 1, he will be your starter at left guard. And frankly, I would be concerned if he wasn't. That would say to me that something bad happened on that standpoint. But I want you guys to make your predictions. Week 1 starter, who is it? TS for Tyler Smith or CM for Connor McGovern? Those are your 2 options right now, the only 2 options on the roster at this point. So let me know in the comments section. I feel like this could almost be a daily takeaway. Micah Parsons is cooking all of the offensive linemen. He beat both Terence Steele and Tyron Smith on day 1, and then beat Terence Steele a few times on day 2. We'll call them possible sacks since, you know, it's drills, it's 7 on set, it's 11 on 11. There's no actual tackling, so we'll have the possible, you know, insurance caveat from that standpoint there. But his burst looks as good as it's ever been. He looks like the exact guy we saw dominate the NFL as a first-year player. There are no concerns, as far as I'm concerned, with Micah Parsons. So with that in mind, our pinned question of the day: how many sacks will Micah Parsons have in 2022? Is he going to exceed what he had last year? Can he approach the 20 number he wants? This is the pinned comment, so if you get an ad break here on YouTube, it's actually perfect timing. Head down to that pinned comment and make your sack predictions for Micah Parsons right there. This is also part of the nature of training camp. The good, the bad. Parsons looks great. Oh my God, that means Terence Steele sucks. Not necessarily. Parsons cooks everybody, but Steele has been beat at points a little bit more frequently than what you would like to see, even if we all are basing it on training camp videos and whatnot. Still got beat by Parsons and Trysten Hill on day 1. Beat by Parsons again a couple times on day 2. Was also much better in the 2-minute drill, especially on day 1. So up and down, which to be fair, isn't that what we expect? Wouldn't we expect Micah Parsons to beat up on Terence Steele because that's a top 5 defensive player versus a not top 5 right tackle in the NFL? This is one of those hopefully iron sharpens iron, coaching staff lines about how Steele will get better playing against Parsons. I think the preseason is what to keep an eye out for. He took a massive jump from year 1 to year 2. Hopefully something similar coming in year 3. So what is your confidence level in Terence Steele? 1 to 100. 1 being you miss Lyle Collins, who's currently on the PUP list in Cincinnati. 100 being he's going to be, I don't know, the next Eric Williams or something crazy. Get those answers in for me in the comment section. I would rate Mint Mobile 100 for myself. They have unlimited premium wireless with plans starting at just $15 a month, and you're not sacrificing anything when you make the switch. They have unlimited talk and text, high-speed data that runs on the largest 5G network, and everything was super easy in terms of their transition thanks to their eSIM card. You don't have to go to a store and spend your entire day waiting around for some alleged genius to fix things for you. No. Do it all from the comfort of your own home. Head over to mintmobile.com/chatsports to make the switch like I did. Plans as low as $15 a month. You can even use it as a mobile hotspot if needed. It's fantastic. You will not regret making the change. mintmobile.com/chatsports. Not much buzz around Sean McEwen, but maybe there should be. I would almost wonder if he is slowly, quietly emerging as the leader to be tight end 2 for this team. He made a couple of nice plays in terms of the day 1 of training camp. Nice little yard after catch completion from Dak Prescott. He did not play much last year, and there's been little bit of buzz that maybe Jake Ferguson needs a little bit more time to grow and develop his body as a 4th-round rookie. That's not uncommon to hear from that perspective. I do worry about the tight end 2 room overall. Jake Ferguson, 4th pick, who I like long-term, but he might need time. Jeremy Sprinkle, Peyton Hendershot, Ian Bunting. You need Dalton Schultz healthy, but maybe McEwen can emerge or somebody else emerges at that backup tight end position. That'd be a pretty good outcome, I think, for the Dallas Cowboys from that standpoint. So hopefully good on McEwen. We'll stick on the offense here and move over to the wide receiver grouping, namely James Washington and Jalen Tolbert. First Washington, then we'll talk more about Tolbert. Washington has had a bit of, an up-and-down performance so far. Anthony Brown's broken up some nice plays against him. More on Brown coming up in a second, by the way. Washington suffer a shoulder injury on day 1, but he was fine. Day 2, was back out there, didn't miss anything. I don't know if the chemistry is quite there yet between Dak and Washington. Remember, James did miss minicamp OTAs due to a foot injury. That's a red flag there. They almost had a deep ball connection on day 1. And I don't think he tracked it all that well and just kind of got offline and missed it ever so slightly. Now, as for Tolbert, so far so good. I would be shocked, and it's probably a bad outcome, if he is not starting for you from that standpoint in terms of at least being wide receiver 3, given the fact that Michael Gallup is going to miss time early on for the Cowboys this year. You're banking on those two making a big impact since you've got zero provenness behind those guys on your roster. Now, camp is well underway, and we're going to keep you guys covered with everything going on around the Dallas Cowboys, so do not miss out. Hit that big red button and subscribe for more Cowboys coverage every single day right here on the Cowboys Report. If I had to give out a early MVP of camp, it would be Anthony Brown. Maybe Micah Parsons. But we'll give it to Brown since that's more fun and different. Brown had to play the day on day 1. They've done a lot of 2-minute drill stuff early. Part of their acclimation process. They're taking it slow early to avoid injuries, which I think is smart. Brown had a pick 6. He jumped a comeback route on Tolbert, broke up a few other plays. Brown's looked really good. And I know that not everybody likes Anthony Brown. He actually played really well last year. Outside of 2 games, when Antonio Brown, Mr. Big Chest, Mr. Big Tantrum, cooked him in week 1, which, it's Antonio Brown. I get it. And then against the Raiders, when the underthrow the route by 15 yards play worked wonders for Anthony Brown, or for the Raiders against Brown, which those were BS calls. Brown played well. Last year of his deal, you're all going to feel weird, conflicted if he balls out and then gets you a 3rd-round comp pick or a 4th-round comp pick. So be honest with me. This is a change in tune as to how he felt this time last year. But do you like Anthony Brown as cornerback 2? Right now, he is holding off Kelvin Joseph. Y for yes, N for no. I'm typing in Y for yes, but I want to hear from you in the comment section. I'll just make quick note of this because I feel like people would freak out if I didn't mention the quarterback. He's fine. He looks good. The arm strength's good. No calf, no shoulder, knock on wood. Best shape of life for Dak Prescott continues to be the case. Brown made some nice plays. Defense is winning overall, but no concerns from Dak. Positive note now, then a negative one potentially. Josh Ball impressed on day one, a player who, you know my thoughts on him, but I believe in giving credit where it's due. Ball did look pretty good on day one. The report from my belt was that he had one of his best practices ever on day one of training camp, which is a big deal since he allegedly didn't have the best practice performances and weight room efforts when he spent the entire year on IR. So, good step forward for Ball. Potential red flag worth monitoring. Matt Waletzko. I don't think he returned, by the way, but he did leave practice today. He went to the locker room, or I should say on Thursday, excuse me. He did leave practice on Thursday with some issue undisclosed. I will make note that he had his right knee lightly wrapped, and that might have been an issue on Wednesday's practice too. So keep an eye on Waletzko, but he did leave practice day 2 Thursday with some undisclosed knee injury that could be a red flag for the Cowboys since he was impressing early on. One last note, fingers crossed, hopefully finally, more Tony Pollard. The Cowboys continue to utilize more Pollard, right? This is a player who the Cowboys have used him in the slot receiver, and I'm going to call it 20 personnel, 21 personnel, where you have Zeke and Pollard out there on the field. The Cowboys should utilize Pollard as what he is, one of their 5, if not 4, best playmakers on offense. I am hopeful and optimistic of a snap count and touches increase this year for Pollard, which, by the way, could result in fewer kick returns. Maybe you let Kevontae Turpin handle that role if he ends up making the team. If you made it to the end of today's video, you guys are a real one, and I appreciate it. Show me that you did by typing in DC4L in the comments section, and we'll show you guys some love for being a real one later on.